your boy GR8JASMO. So I got this idea from a YouTuber that I follow. I'd even go so far as to call this person a little bit more than an acquaintance. You know, I follow their channel, they follow my channel. You know, chit chat. Some of you may know, No Filter Nina. So she gave me an idea to kind of give like a little bit of an insight as to what cable guys go through. So my first assignment, which was relatively non-complex, and by that I mean it was the E word, which I don't like to use because it always complicates things in the end. So what was happening was the guy's remote was starting to go bad, and he couldn't figure out. He thought there was something wrong with the box, and so they called the technician out, and I got a new remote, paired it to the box, paired it to the TV. We're all set. So now his channels can change up and down, controls the volume, controls the the channels, the volume, turns the TV on and off, you know, stuff like that. And yeah, that's it. They didn't need much else, so I'm gonna close out the assignment and then I'll drive off. So here's what the closing screen looks like. We have the premise health, which is the health of all of the devices. You see the premise health is green. These devices, these are DTAs, digital terminal adapters, the little small boxes that get basic channels, no on demand or anything like that. He has a standard box, legacy, and he's fine with that. He doesn't want to upgrade. And it says MoCA health. MoCA stands for Media Over Cable Alliance, which is basically how the boxes talk to each other. But he only has one device that, you know, can use MoCA or PHT, so that is fine. It says, you know, good news, PHT result is a pass. Please start with wrapping up your customer, and be sure to, it gives you like a little checklist, review the work you've just completed, inform them of a 30-day guarantee, and leave them smiling. So we hit next. Now for this assignment, because I replaced the remote, replace CPE, and CPE is just, you know, the Comcast, you know, whatever product that we offer. Like if it's like a modem, a TV box, a remote, you know, so replace the CPE. Next step. And then it's just, you know, your primary code. And so I don't want to show any like personal information. So we will come up to like right here, you know, PHT ran upon en route, PHT ran upon job completion. We passed the resolution code. We hit submit. So, that's basically what I go through. You know, depending on how complex the job is, sometimes you got to rewind wire. Sometimes you got to run a brand new line to the house. Sometimes you got to replace splitters. If there is a signal degradation, we call it noise, which is radio frequency that is interrupting our radio frequency. So a little bit of cable 101. The company sends a signal to you. We call that a downstream. There's a downstream strength and a downstream clarity. So if the strength is high but the clarity is messed up, then that means that there's some type of issue, whether it be in the house that's causing outside frequencies to get in on our frequency, or it could be coming from, you know, the cable company themselves. Doesn't matter if you're, Xfinity, you know, Cox, Spectrum, whatever, coax cable, or even fiber optic. I'm not too sure with that, but with coax cable, the center copper wire, it's actually, it's not full copper, but the center copper wire has a radio frequency that rides along the outside of it. They call it the skin effect. And with that, it also has like this white kind of padding almost. And then there is a series of layers of braided metal wires and a kind of a metal jacket that goes around it. Then on the outside, it's usually some type of a plastic rubberish kind of wire. And sometimes you may see it'll be a black wire or a white wire. For the underground wire, we use like an orange colored wire. So along that wire, when we send it into you, we call that the downstream. And if you have one of the modems that's kind of tall and it has a bunch of lights on the front, you may notice that there's an upstream and a downstream. A UD and a is it U? No, US and U and DS. Upstream, downstream. So upstream, downstream is what we send down to the customer. Upstream is what you send back to us. And if there's any other frequencies interfering with what you send back, we call that noise. So the same way that I'm talking to you, if there was a car that drove by that was really loud, that would be noise that interfered with the signal of me talking to you. So, I think that's, it. So if you've got, let's say pixelation, or you've got, let's say when you change the channel, it doesn't change, or it's really slow, or you try to go to your on demand, chances are you have noise. And if you can't access your on demand, chances are there is a filter at the pole or at the little green box that's out in front of people's houses. And if there's a filter out there, then that means that somewhere in your house, you either have a bad wire, you have bad connectors, or there's noise getting in somewhere. The connectors need to be tight, and they need to be our new compression fit connectors. Those old crimp ones, so the new ones actually look like little silver bullets. Let's see if I can find one in here. Damn. Here's one. So this one is an outdoor compression. So you see how it has that little black part in the middle, and it looks like it should have been squeezed down. Well, this one, hasn't been used, so it's not squeezed down. I'm sorry, I got a little boo-boo on my finger. But that allows outside radio frequencies in and out. You got radio frequencies flying all over the place. So let's say we have what's called FM noise. Everybody knows about FM radio stations. Up here we have Power 99. It's a big, hip-hop radio station. They've been around forever. But those radio frequencies are always in the air. If our wires are not secure, then it allows for that radio frequency to get in on our line, and too much radio frequency getting in on our line will disrupt our signal. You'll get pixelation. You'll have all these problems. You'll start calling us out and be like, I don't know what's happening. I've never had this problem before. Well, our new boxes use a lot of the spectrum for other things. We used to just have, line in, it doesn't matter what it looks like as long as this connection and everything works. But because of, new HD features, some of the new, like we have Netflix on our box and requires you to access the internet. So our box has its own modem. Big, long story. I know I'm getting on and on. Anyway, having those things, everything has to be tight and secure. So if everything is tight and secure, you should have no problems. If you do have a problem, that's when it becomes a box issue, a signal issue coming from Comcast, things like that. Other than that, if your signal is good, your lines are good, and your boxes are good, you should have no problems. If all that's good and you're still having problems, it's probably your TV or HDMI cord, something like that. But yeah, that's it. So just a real quick rundown. And I know I'm rambling on, and I got to get to this next assignment, but I wanted to go ahead and share that with you guys. Thank you, Nina, for suggesting that, I kind of give a little bit of insight into, the job. This is your boy, GRAJSM. Oh, and I'm at.
Yo, I ain't gonna front, you know what I'm saying? Nigga living. It's about time. C&P, shit's going my way, you know what I mean? Ain't nothing like it. Yeah. It ain't nothing like paying the bills on time. Enough dough left to know that we still gonna shine, but it's never enough.